how do you treat and seek the cure for food sensitivities? So the first thing to address are our beliefs. Some people will say in this day and age that certain illnesses or conditions are like incurable. Oh, you have an incurable disease, but it can be treated or it can be managed or so on. This is completely false. It's a myth. It's not true. It's not how the creation works. It's not how the human being works, and it's not why you're sick either, or why you haven't been healed yet. So the first thing is to address the belief, the idea that you can't be cured. You can be. Some people have been cured very quickly as well. It can be a very easy thing to treat, actually, when we're talking about food allergies or any kind of allergy or sensitivity. So that's the first one, is address your beliefs. There's only one thing that's incurable, and that's death. Once you're dead, once you're actually dead and gone and moved on, then you're dead. That's the only thing that can't be cured. Every single illness, without any exceptions, can be cured. Now, the average doctor may not know how to help in a certain condition or a certain situation or for a certain person. But what they're really saying when they say you have an incurable disease is they're saying one of two things. One is, I don't know the cure, so look elsewhere. So if somebody tells you can't be cured, you should go to someone else and keep looking until you find the one who can help you get cured of any illness. Number two is that they're basically kind of trying to sell you a product that will last a very long time, which is managing an illness without curing it. So what we want to be healthy, completely healthy. And that's what God wants for you. That's what Allah wants. He's the creator of everything, and He is not the one who hurts people. That's not one of His divine names. We learn about Him through revelation and through His divine names and so on. And one of His divine names in Arabic is Shafi, the healer. So He heals you. He doesn't want to hurt you. He heals you. And when we get hurt, it's because of, it's from numerous causes. It'd be too long to discuss in this video, which I want to keep a little bit shorter. But the point that I'm getting here is believe good things about yourself, about God. Don't hurt yourself. Try to lead and live a decent and righteous life. Try to always improve yourself and be better in how you live. Try to always get closer to God and obey Him, increase in obedience to Him wherever you are in your life, and know that there's only good will ever come from Him, and going to Him will only result in good, okay? Maybe you can't see it, maybe you're in a place where it's hard for you to understand that or believe that or see that, but if you just go to Him, you will see it, because He will show it to you if you ask Him for that, and if that's what you want, and if you maintain a good opinion of Him. Because you don't want stuff from yourself, because you really are incapable of doing anything without Him enabling you to do it. He creates everything. Everything other than Him is created. Even our actions are created, and He is creating them. Our thoughts are created. My speech is created. Everything other than Him is created that you could possibly imagine is created. There's only one God. He is the creator. He's the one who heals you. So when you get sick, it's because of some reason other than that we wouldn't attribute to Him. We don't attribute sickness to God, to the Creator, to Allah, but we attribute healing to Him. So we need Him to heal. And even if you take a medicine, that's Him healing you through that medicine. He created it. He put that medicine here. He gave us chemistry. He gave us everything. He gave us, botany and herbology, everything, every knowledge. Knowledge is created. He creates it, He gives it to us, He bestows it upon us. So everything good, everything useful, see it all as coming from Him, and then He will give you more and be grateful, and He'll give you more to be grateful for. And may Allah make us grateful, Ameen. So the first one is getting your beliefs right. That's the number one thing. When it comes to any healing from any illness, is getting those beliefs correct, and may Allah grant us the correct beliefs. Ameen. So the next thing is, there's let's get a greater understanding of how allergies work, to what I know about them at least, and then we can talk about the process of treating and seeking to treat it and seeking His cure for it, which is very simple and very easy, inshallah. So the next thing is, what are they and how do they work? So it's you reacting to something that's harmless. It's you reacting to something that's harmless. There's no actual harm in this food. And you can apply it to any other type of allergy, a skin contactant that somebody reacts to, an inhalant like allergies and pollen, a vaccine, a reaction to a vaccine ingredient, or an allergic reaction to a bee sting. Okay, that's maybe a bit different, but I mean, that is like, it's a bee sting, but your reaction to it is not helping in that sense. So I just went through the 4 categories of reactions, by the way. So there's contactants on your skin, ingestants that you consume, inhalants, which you obviously inhale, and then injectants, which are things that inject and break your skin, like a vaccine or a bug bite or a bee sting or something of that sort. So we don't want to be reacting excessively in case of a bee sting, or we don't want to be reacting to something like a food or an inhalant, like a pollen, that is totally harmless, like peanuts. Peanuts they're not harmful. Okay, and you can easily be cured. It's easy for God to cure anything. He just says be, and it is. He can do anything he wants. It's all his kingdom. We're all guests in his kingdom, and he is the king. So he's omnipotent. He is powerful beyond. He is infinitely powerful. Okay, so understand that this is easy for him to cure. Okay, and you need to understand that, because your beliefs can result in you living a certain reality. If you think, I'll never be cured of this, and that, and blah, if you think this, you think very negatively, well, then you may just be living in your own negativity, because it's not true. It's not true. So it's like you're in a state where you're waiting until you change your beliefs, and then he, inshallah, may then give you something better once you think better about him. But if you think evil of him, well, then you might just get a lot of evil. So you need to think about good things. You need to turn to the light. All the light comes from him. He's always sending you good things. He's always ready to send you good things when you're ready to receive them. So you want to ask him to give you readiness. We call it in Arabic isti'dad, readiness to receive the good things he has for us. That's what readiness is. So you want readiness. So you want to ask him to give you readiness, and may he grant us all readiness. So what are allergies and what causes them? So we have a heart, and around it are different things kind of vying for influence over your heart. You have a soul, you have a lower self called the nafs, and that nafs can be in various states. It can be blaming yourself, it can be telling you to do bad things. It can move up to a higher state where it's just satisfied with God and it's very tame. You want a very tame nafs. You want to be pleased with God, tame, still. At the end of the day, you want your heart to be still and sound. And you can say to your heart, be still, and it will, because it's created to obey you. So you can say right now, just say to your heart, be still. And you'll notice hopefully a very positive effect when you just say that, be still. It's just God giving you what you're doing. The next is also your mind, your memory of things. All these things can have an influence on your health, and on your heart, and so on. So when we have a trauma or a foreign influence, if you're around a toxic environment or a person who's having they're putting a lot of bad stuff on others, bad emotions and things, these can affect you. And when you have a trauma, or oftentimes with allergies, people have a traumatic experience, like a life event in early childhood or something of that sort, and it makes them think the world is more dangerous than it actually is. And then they wind up with a belief that's not true. And so you have this misunderstanding, this confusion, which is why you have the reactions. So you need to get in there, and so the method here is to get in there. And I'll talk about in a moment the process of doing that, but to get in there and fix this misunderstanding, okay? And God can do that. He is the turner of hearts. He has control over every heart. He can instantly turn a heart in a certain direction. He can turn your heart to him, which is one of the best. This is the best thing that you can get, is that he turn your heart to him. And you can ask him for that. Turn my heart to you. You can just ask him that. We have a prayer in Arabic, which is Ya Musarrif al-Qulub, Sarrif Qulubana ala ta'atik. O turner of hearts, turn our hearts in obedience to you. You can say this in English or in Arabic. So you can just say that, God, turn my heart to you. You can say that. And that's a very good thing. Regarding these confusions, there's different ways of going about it. But the fastest way, which I'll teach you, is the fastest way. Now, if you want to be more investigative, if you kind of want to play around with it a little more, you can, but be a little bit careful because once you get more experience with this, you can learn how to kind of troubleshoot. You don't want to mess something up by experimenting too much. You know what I mean? If you really want to dig in there, you might learn a lot about how you work and your inner workings and what a human being really is. But what I'd say is just let's focus on what I've used many times before and what's worked repeatedly in the past, and inshallah it will work again by God's permission. So there's 2 steps to seeking His cure and treating this. The first step is identifying all of these reactions, and the second step is clearing them out. So identify all these reactions, all these confusions, number 1. And then 2, we want to turn to God and ask Him to fix these issues, to give it to. So there's many methods of doing this. One is that you sit and you make remembrance of Him. So you sit, you face. As Muslims, we face the qiblah, and that's a way of orienting yourself on God and turning your heart to Him. It has many means, has a lot of significance to it, but that's one of them. Another is like turning in obedience to Him, and that's like the symbology about it, because all of the creation is created. He's not inside the creation. There's no indwelling of God in the creation. That's called hulul in Arabic, and we don't believe that. He is separate and he's distinctly separate from the creation in his essence and in his attributes. So when you face the Kaaba, when you face the big black cube-shaped building in Mecca, that's you turning to Him in obedience to Him. And it's a wonderful way to sit and pray to Him. It sort of adds onto the action that you're doing with additional goodness, So then the next is that you can use several methods. I'll go through like 3. How about this? One is that you can sit and just remember Him with the intention that he show you these any kind of inner problems that you have. So what we often can do is we can just say the name Allah. We just sit and just say Allah, 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 Allah. That's probably the easiest remembrance of God that I can teach you. Because it's just one word, as in Arabic, but everybody knows that word. And it's also a very blessed name to use and to make remembrance with. And everybody can benefit from it, from the beginner to the most advanced. So that's probably one of the easiest ones right there. So you just sit and you just say Allah, 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 Allah. That's His name, and that name contains all of His other names. And so using that name, you can bring in the light. And the light, you want to bring in the light and expose all these misunderstandings that you have. And then you want Him to bring the light to these misunderstandings. And if you have any darkness inside of you, any kind of misunderstanding, you want to bring the light to that misunderstanding or to that problem. So it's all internal work. It's like heart work. And you're remembering Him to ask Him for His light and bring that light where you need it. Bring that light where there is a misunderstanding or where there is darkness inside of us, right? No human being is perfect. I don't pretend to be perfect. I learned this through my own problems and mistakes, And I used to be extremely sick. So now I'm just sharing the knowledge, hoping others will benefit. Nobody is perfect. Everybody needs to be doing this heart work. Everybody does. So this is beneficial for everyone. We're all human beings, and we're all on this journey back to God, and we're here to help each other. And one of His names is An-Nasir, the one who helps. And He will help you in the way He wants to help you. If you have any problem at all, ask Him to help you. Okay? If you have a health problem, He may guide you to somebody who has His help for you. Because if anybody helps you, that's really, as long as it's good, and there's nothing evil attached to it, but when somebody sincerely helps you For the sake of God. That's his help in reality, his help coming to you. Sorry, and you can see how professional I am at this. I apologize, doorbell rings and I pause it and come back. A little bit informal, but hopefully this will be very beneficial. So when we see things in the creation that are good, then all good we attribute to God. Anything evil we do not attribute to God. Yes, he created it, but the reason that it was created is not necessarily what he is pleased with. He always generally offers you an alternative, but somebody chose something other than what he was pleased with, and that's why the evil exists. So when it comes to the problem of evil, the question of evil, is because people are choosing evil. That's why it exists. You don't attribute it and blame it on God. You blame it on the creation. We blame it on ourselves. And that's one of the big differences between the prophet Adam alayhi salam and Satan. Satan, he doesn't accept this. He doesn't accept that he does evil, even though he's like one of the biggest, choosers of evil. He's the biggest chooser of evil. He's always choosing evil. And he's offered to repent. He's offered goodness, but he doesn't accept it. That's why Satan is what he is. And that's why he is where he is. And that's why you don't follow him either. He is only evil for you. And he only wants you to also choose evil, and then you'll be given it if you keep, potentially, unless God saves you and pulls you out of it. But the only good we have is what he gives us. And he has a lot of good for every human being if you're ready to accept it. Okay? So you want to identify all of these problems. The first one I mentioned was making the remembrance, what we call in Arabic the dhikr, the remembrance of God. The second method is you can actually just make a prayer, a supplication, a dua, and just say, God, show me all of my misunderstandings that are causing these reactions. Throughout my whole lifetime, show me all of my reactions throughout my whole lifetime. Show me all of my reactions throughout my whole lifetime. And I recommend putting in a timeline, like throughout your whole lifetime or for the past year or something like that, in this prayer and in this methodology or in your intentions when you're trying to identify these things. Because if you just do in the present moment, you may miss potentially, Allahu Alam, God knows best what you'll get. Maybe you still get everything in your life or everything you still would potentially react to in the future. But you want to add like a timeline as a context to it. That's what I would generally recommend. So then, once you have this, I call it your list of things to clear, once you have that, which you can do it through dua, through asking God to show it to you or to give you a list. You can say, God, give me a list of everything to clear that's causing reactions. So that's another way. So that's method 2. Now, method number 3 is that you can use just words. So in language, there's the ism and the musamma. The ism is like the noun or the thing, the name of the thing, and the musamma is the thing named. So my name is Abdullah. I used to go by Greg. So when you say my name and your intention is me, like hey Greg, hey Abdullah, then I'm the musamma. I'm the thing named. And the name you're using is Greg or Abdullah. So these two things can be connected. When you call upon God, the ism, I'm saying, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, that's the ism. The musamma, in this case, is his unknowable essence. That's a very big theological discussion, I think, but him in his essence, he's so infinite, that me as a created thing, I can never truly, fully know who he is, but I can infinitely learn about him with the knowledge that he bestows upon me. So that's what that means. And now another example is I have this hat, okay? So I can say hats, and I'm thinking of hats generally, all just hats in general. I can think taqiyya, okay, there's like a type of hat called a taqiyya. I can say, okay, now I'm getting more specific, or I can say my hat, and now the musamma is this particular hat. Okay, so why is that relevant to this? So here's what we're going to do. This third method, which I often use as well, I've seen it work very well, is so you set an intention through your whole lifetime, every reaction you ever had or ever could potentially have in the future. You just say all ingestants. All ingestants. Like I'm doing it to myself right now, all ingestants. So you say it to your whole self, And you say, and you want to be thinking, it's good to think of God while you're at it, to have him with you in the picture, in the situation rather. And you say all ingestants. And you can just add into this, now that we're working on this anyways, all inhalants. And it's good that, so my intention is throughout my lifetime, or I can just include it in the speech, which is probably easier for everyone. So I can say all ingestants throughout my lifetime. All ingestants that I may react to in the future. All inhalants throughout my lifetime. All inhalants I may react to in the future. All contactants throughout my lifetime. All contactants that I may react to in the future. All injectants throughout my lifetime. All injectants that I may react to in the future. Okay, so this builds what I call your list. A list of things to clear. Now you're probably wondering, what am I doing? I'm just saying things to myself. I don't have any physical list. Well, you got to get beyond the physical, because there's a whole lot more in the creation than the things that you can see physically. Okay? And the more we learn about quantum physics and so on from a scientific perspective, we already know that there's just a lot more going on than we're even aware of, and it keeps growing. Like the complexity of God's creation only grows. It's not shrinking. Rather, our understanding of it is only growing. It's not like shrinking. It's not, if you want to get more simple, well, just turn to him and he can give you the highest good in a way that you can understand as simply as possible. He can give you that. Sometimes learning things too much is actually not helpful. Especially when it comes to a lot of scientific research and scientific inquiry, which is so loaded with agendas nowadays, that it can often be harmful to you to go exploring that excessively, because sometimes the issue is really simple and the solution is really simple. And at the end of the day, you're just trying to get from point A to point B. And if you want to go through a really long process and maybe even never get there, there's different paths you can take. But if you just want the shortest path from point A to point B, then that's what you should ask him for, and that's what you should aim for, because it's the simplest, it's the easiest, it's the fastest way to get healed. That's what you want. And that's what he can give you, And I even know all the possibilities out there of ways of healing different illnesses, but just know that he is all powerful, and whatever your illness is, he can heal you really fast if you just find out how he wants to heal you fast. Because it's his kingdom. So how do you want us to do this is the big question. Okay, so build your list, and now you have your list. We want to clear that list. There's many ways of clearing it. So the first method of identifying it was using the dhikr, and that's also actually a way of seeking God's healing in that. So you can sit in dhikr, and then again you can use the name Allah, 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 or you can say Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. There's a way of saying, oh God, calling upon God, Ya Allah. Just remembering God, Allah, Allah, Allah. You can use either of those methods. You can use those two. I think everybody can understand that very easily. And you're basically asking him to give you his light. And when that light comes into your heart, inshallah, you want to bring the light to these misunderstandings, to any problems within you that you've identified, and also if there's anything you haven't identified. And you can use this to treat pretty much anything, this dhikr, by the way. You can use it to find out if there's any kind of stuck emotions inside of you, old anger or something like that. It's good to clear out your emotions. It's good to clear out past traumas. Even if you don't even know they're there, you don't even know that something was stuck in there, like a really distantly subconscious trauma or something. You can use this dhikr to treat that, to seek his healing in that. And it can be really powerful. Don't underestimate it. I've seen amazing things with just that. Amazing things with just that. So don't underestimate it. And inshallah, some of you who are watching this, maybe you will see amazing things too. Amazingly good things, like amazing healing. And it's all about him. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about the creation. It's all about him. So don't let your ego, so we don't want to let our start attributing things to ourselves either. Because if you take this knowledge, you start giving it to others, you don't want to start thinking, oh, look how great I am. Well, you should be thinking, look how great God is. And look how great the potential is for what he can give us. Because at the end of the day, it's all about him. And if you use this knowledge and share it, just think it's him helping others through me. So that's all it is. So I only help whomever he wants me to help, and you only help whoever he wants you to help, and whoever is willing to accept it and is open to it and ready for it. So one is you can use that dhikr to bring in the light, and bring that light to your misunderstandings, to any darkness, any traumas inside of you, etc., and bring it to the source of these problems. So we want to get to the source of these problems within us. Okay? So in the body, there's a lump of flesh. It is the heart. And when it is sound, the rest of the body is sound. So we want sound hearts. Okay. Method number 2 is that you can just pray for God to clear you of this list, and you pray it. What I noticed in the past, and I don't know what will happen with you because God chooses what happens, but what I've noticed repeatedly in the past, in my experience, is that when we use the prayer method, or the supplication or the dua method, and if you're Muslim, you can use any of those prayers from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that are narrated in our hadith sources for asking for healing, and just using that to go through this list. Allahumma adhib al-ba's, Rabban nas, wafi anta shafi la shifa illa shifauka shifaan la yughadiru saqaman. I mean, you can use that. And the thing is, though, what I've noticed is that usually God clears one item at a time. I don't know why. But that's what I've noticed. So you need to go through the whole list one at a time and just pray and pray and pray until it's all gone. So I'd recommend if you do that, do it like at least 30 times. Say at least like 30 prayers or 40 or 50 just to make really sure it's completely cleared. And it's a great way also to seek his healing. It still is a great way. And there's a lot of reward in that because supplication is like the pith of worship of God. Ad-du'a mukhul ibadah, as we say, as the narration goes in Arabic. Like supplication is like the pith of it's like the pith of worship. It's a great way to worship God, is praying to Him, and you understand that He is the one who can help you. It really helps you with your beliefs as well when you think about it. What are you doing when you ask Him? He has the power, and you're like helpless without Him, and you're kind of realizing how He's the one who can help you, and you rely on Him, and you trust in Him that He has a lot of goodness for you. So have a good opinion of Him, and supplicate to Him regularly. So the third method, and this is one I usually use because it's very fast, I've noticed, and it's very easy. So you literally just tell your whole self, connect directly to Allah, and ask Him to clear me completely of all these reactions. And that's all it is. So I'll do it to myself, okay? You can do it out loud or silently within yourself. So you just say, okay, entire self, and you're addressing your whole self, okay? Connect directly to Allah, and ask Him to clear me completely of all these reactions. And that's it. It's really that simple. So you build your list, and so if you want to skip to the end or share right to the end, a really fast way to do it is you can just pray to God, give me a list of, oh Ya Allah, give me a list of all of my reactions throughout my whole lifetime of all the different kinds of reactions there are. And then, okay, once you have it, then you get to tell your whole self, okay, whole self, connect directly to Allah, and ask Him to clear me completely of all these reactions. And that's it. Now, I did that in like 30 seconds. I have like a 28-minute video here, but I'm also trying to give other methods, other skills that you can also use for other things, and that you can try different methods as well if you want, or share them with your friends who also may have allergies or something. If you want to just really quickly get past this, well, I'd say use that method. You can also use the naming thing, all contactants throughout my lifetime, all inhalants throughout my lifetime, all ingestants throughout my lifetime, all injectants throughout my lifetime. And then, okay, whole self, connect directly to Allah and ask Him to clear me completely of all my reactions. And then that's it. That's usually what I use with a lot of people. And it's a really just fast way to get past it. But I'm also hoping that the knowledge I gave you in this video about other topics will help you in your own journey of healing and help you to help others. Because there's a lot of different illnesses out there, and these principles can also be applied potentially to other illnesses. Now, some other illnesses may have a little more complexity. Maybe you need a little more knowledge or another method to add into it for a certain person in order for them to be given that full cure. But these are really good principles to know and to understand and to share with others. So I hope this is beneficial. I apologize for having such a long video for something that I could have told you in a short amount of time, so forgive me. Any constructive criticism with good etiquette, I'm open to. Say good, and have a blessed day. God bless you all, and may He grant us all really good health and protect us and guide us to Him and grant us a good end. and guide us to the end that's best for us. And signing off. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.